Hello, and we are live. Really excited to do this session today to bring Amy Bell to us from the United Colors magazine, and Brittany Hammond all the way from Paris.
Ooh, and, look at us. Look at if
you got all of them.
Ooh, right up there. And here's
the latest. Yes. Wait, put that back up again.
There we go.
So
we've got the rainbow.
Anyone who, so this magazine that Amy is the editor of, this is online, but it's also, you can order it. So you don't have to subscribe. You can order one at a time through Amazon, and Amy has a button. You just go click and you know how you order from Amazon, it shows up the next day. It's amazing. So for those of you who do not know about this magazine, this is a magazine for creatives who all mentor with each other, and it's fabulous. And Amy asked me to start writing an article, more than a year ago. And so, as you all know, I do math for a living. I'm a math geek. I was a math geek in high school, and I speak in numbers. And so talking about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, I accepted to write these articles for Amy. And just to share intimately is that, so I put myself on a deadline. Now I have to, do these things, and I got to come up with these ideas and to be able to write and follow her color format. And I have to say that I'm impressed. Like, I'm really impressed with the articles I've been able to write, not only me, but the articles that the other people are writing in the magazine, and how we all mentor each other. So this is all about bringing people up to the next level. And so our talk today is about the article that I wrote, the Demystifying the Alchemy of Building Wealth. And because that seems to be a big mystery for, how did she get that? How did he get that? And, so, and so there are ways for everybody to achieve the goals that they want to reach. And there really isn't a mystery to it. So we're going to talk about that today. So, so welcome, Brittany, first of all.
Hi.
And welcome, Amy. And I just wanted to check just a little bit of housekeeping. Did anybody forward this to Wallet to Wealth yet? Okay.
Yeah. I'm just seeing it now, which I can do. Share. Done.
Perfect. So Amy, good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Brittany.
Yeah.
You've got the nice 3 o'clock sunshine happening in your living room there.
Yeah. So talk to us about gold. What the story behind gold and how that.
Well, when I started this magazine, I was thinking I'm just starting a magazine. And little did I know that every color that we have done so far has been a learning, healing journey for not only myself as the person who creates it, but for the columnists, for the people who read it, for the people who purchase it, the sponsors. And so I always put in the positive and negatives, or the positive and negative aspects of the color. And the negative aspects really aren't negative. It's kind of like what that color can heal. So I just want to read the positives and negatives of gold, just so we all have an understanding. So wisdom is one, where, yellow is about ego. It's about, and that's the next edition. So ego, smarticles, what's that called? Your actual academic kind of thing, right? So smart knowledge by book learning. But gold is about the knowing rather than the learning and the egotistical part. So it's about wisdom, authentic power, stepping into your I amness, purpose, abundance, alchemy, trust. So those are all kind of the really great things that if you're going into a meeting and you're feeling like I'm a little nervous or something, like slap on some gold, because that's going to allow you to take that breath and go, okay, let me just absorb the energy. Yeah. So I got my gold on today.
I'm
And then,
wearing Glam Jewels, Monica. Shout out.
Oh, Monica's
oh,
necklaces.
Monica, I did have the glam jewels, the bracelet, but I didn't put that on today. So then the flip side of those awesome keywords that go with gold is the control factor. So feeling out of control or being way too controlling, like trying to control it so much that the alchemy cannot happen. And I think the alchemy happens when you sort of release the outcome or detach from the outcome of what can happen once you set the wheel in motion. So let's say we're going to you, Whitney, for building wealth, and then me as the client is like, Whitney, I want you to do this, and I want you to do this, and don't put it there and put it over here. And so I've just taken away your power, and then I've kind of screwed myself too, because I'm not allowing you to do what you do best.
Yes.
Right?
So interesting that, you know what, just a proof here in the pudding is that I've been doing this career for 25 years. And I would say 99.9999999% of clients just come in and they're like, hey, just do your magic. Those ones make the most, and you get the very oddball that's into this micromanagement. And I tell them, you know what, your energy is going to blow your account. And they don't believe that, but you know what, the proof's in the pudding, because I've got all these accounts, and I can see exactly what's going on with everybody. So anyways, so it is true, right? The control, once you kind of release control and, let things happen, let the magic happen.
Yes.
If you've got the outcome.
Pardon?
If you have the outcome, it's going to come, right?
Yeah. Like once you give the spreadsheet, here's what I can do with your money, I'm walking away and letting you do what you do with my money, right? Like what's the point of hiring someone to manage it if you're just going to control the whole process anyway?
Yeah.
And I know, Brittany, when you're, you're really into the allowing side of things, like don't control it, just let it flow. What do you think about that?
I'm having like all of these light bulb moments go off right now because I'm like, oh, the worst clients are the ones that are like so controlling, their nails in, they can't trust the process. And it's making me realize, ooh, in my messaging, I need to like call in those people that like will let me do my magic and they do their thing. And it's so true. Those are the ones who get the best results, and the ones who are trying to micromanage.
Yeah,
They're holding on
100%.
tight. This thing is falling out.
So if you want to call in, with both your messaging, you can use gold in the actual post that you're doing. So the images that you have. Yeah. So if you can use, like, even if because I know you like to use a lot of your photos. So if you're wearing gold in those photos, if you're in front of like a gold statue, you're in Paris for crying out loud, you could find one. Get that little glitter of gold into the images. And then, because the other thing about gold too is trust. So you've got trust and control. So those are two factors when you're wanting to manifest clients that trust you and that aren't going to be micromanaging you, is allowing that gold to come through. The gold nuggets, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, those gold nuggets. Let's see what those gold nuggets have to say.
Okay, I'm going to screen share because we do have Whitney's article, the 2 pages of the article, which give us the 6 gold nuggets you need to take your wealth from ordinary to extraordinary. And I think everybody wants to go to extraordinary when we're talking about wealth, especially when, I'm getting up there, like in age, and the time of me being able to build is like getting smaller and smaller. So the need for expediting this process is up there.
Look, the one thing I just want to add to your comment there, Amy, is that as we age, we get really good at what we do, and our incomes rise exponentially. So I can tell you, I have many clients that are 75 years old, and they just cannot stop working because they're making a mint. They're making a fortune. They have become so damn good at what they do, and they're worth what they're being paid. They're worth their weight in gold. So, so you are very good at what you do. I've told you this many times. You're excellent at what you do. So I think your time is coming, girl. And yeah. So one of the things, what you know, so we want to demystify this whole mystery of, you know, how do you do it, right? How do you build wealth? How do you become successful? And so, so I should have said in the beginning of this video is that we're talking about building businesses. This is why we're here. This is what this discussion is about. And Amy has all the colors that, you know, if you focus with different colors, this one right now is gold. And so with building wealth, it's done systematically over time. So yeah, sometimes you might buy a startup stock and make yourself $1 gazillion, and good luck, because it's the same way as buying a lottery ticket. Don't rely on it. If it happens, good for you. You'll probably lose it because you didn't build it systematically over time. So that's the first gold nugget that I talk about is systematically build over time. The second one is work with a mentor.
Go back to that one for a sec, Whitney.
Sure.
Because this is what I'm nervous about. You're saying like wealth is built systematically over time. And I'm seeing my time for building wealth maybe shrinking. So now I'm thinking, do I have to chunk loads of money in just to be able to catch up to my non-systematic way of creating wealth? Or can I still do it systematically?
Yes. So what's the difference between building between 20 and 50 and building between 50 and 80? If you're going to die tomorrow, then you're right. You're out of time. But I think Amy's going to be around for a while. So the thing is that when you start this systematic process, what happens is money is going to show up. Okay. It's going to show up and opportunities are going to show up. How can the universe start filling your buckets when you don't have them?
Got
right?
it. Okay.
You got to start those buckets. Doesn't matter, $25 at a time, but opportunity will show up. You know, opportunity knocks. It's going to knock to the person who can receive it, right? And I've always been able to receive these opportunities. I'm happy to do it, and I'm 58 this year, and I got lots more. You know, so here's how we look at it. Amy's like, I'm running out of time. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding? Just wait till you see what I build in the next 30 years. Like I got all sorts of ideas that are coming out. So, and I'm not looking to fold it up and retire. I'm enjoying my life. I built it. Right. So, and that's what everybody else should be doing is build your life. Just get a picture of what you want. You know, Amy, you're visualizing this resort. It's going to happen. It's just got to be the right resort. You don't want to run out and get this one in case there's that one over there. So you will find it because you've created it in your mind, and you're now opening up space for it to happen. So it will happen. So working with a coach and a mentor, same thing. You know, Amy is be talking to people who are in that business, right? So for me, when I started, so you don't have a lot of money. So what you do is you go to a mentor. Mentors are free. I mentor people all the time. I've been doing this for like 35 years, helping people. So I don't charge to mentor anybody. I don't want to. I don't want to be pigeonholed into that, to be, you know, giving a check for $500 because I gave somebody some advice. So, and then when you can afford it, then you move into buying that coach, and be very careful because there's coaches all over the internet. You want to have the right coach, and that's by picking them up by referral. Who did you use? I've had a Tony Robbins coach for 11 years. Do I recommend her? Highly, because I've been using it for 11 years. So I'm a big fan of that. It's, and I'm always growing. So everybody, so if you're starting at the beginning, how do I do this? You start your systematic, getting some money put aside. Even if you don't have it, make a contribution of $25 a month, get it going on your bank so that you've got a space. Then you talk to somebody who's more successful than you, and you talk to them on a regular basis. Doesn't have to be long, but so you can take from their mind and put it into your mind. The next thing is develop a wealth mindset. I have a wealth mindset. So I have no problem with that. I created it at a young age. If you don't have it today, just do it. Just say, you know what, I'm calling this wealth into my life. Amy's calling in her new resort, and she's going to call in all sorts of clients, and people are following her left, right, and center, and we're going to be going to her resort. And it's not a resort just to flake out on a beach. Amy's got a lot of cool work that she does. And so in a way, she's mentoring other people, and coaching other people. So the next one is building a matrix. And so that is the numbers thing. That's what I do. And so anybody can make up your own little matrix of 10-3-1. I call 10 prospects to get 3 appointments to get 1 sale. Like that whole thing of, oh, I'm trying and everyone's saying no. That each time you get a no, it brings you closer to a yes. So it's a whole mindset game. And if you can build yourself a little ratio of what you want, if you contact 100 people, are 30 people going to be interested in your service so that you can then actually make 3 sales? I don't know. Maybe you only have to contact 50 people, but build that ratio and focus on it. That's how I started mine. I started mine 10-3-1. Now I'm like one-on-one. Years I've been one-on-one. So my closing ratio is I talk to you, we do business together. Now you have to be able to get to talk to me first, because that's changed over the years. That everybody was a prospect, 25 years ago. Now they're not. Establish long-term relationships with clients, with customers. Okay, so I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay. Lots of people that shoot little things to me. We all get it on, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy their stuff because that's not how I do business. I do business with somebody who builds a relationship with me, and then I'm able to buy their service or product for many years, and I'm able to send them clients. And those are the people that I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with the fly-by-nights that are, there's people that are selling product that they don't even know. Here, take this, it'll work for your thyroid. I'm like, really? Whoever said I had an issue with my thyroid? Or maybe I do, maybe I'm on medication. So get to know who it is that you're actually talking to. Spend some time with them to actually be professional, and do your due diligence to find out who that person is, to decide if you actually want to do business with them, because maybe not everybody is the right person, and maybe they're not always the right fit. So it's the hammer and the nail stories. So people have this hammer and they think, oh, everyone's a nail, and that's not the case. And the last thing is give, and give. So the more you give to others, the more you give to charity, the more you give to your clients, the more you will receive. And it, because it's this can't say this word, Brett.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity is about giving to each other. And Amy, you've displayed that in so many ways. I mean, I'll just give one example. For Wallet to Wealth last year, the November event, we kind of ran into a bit of a jam when it came to the gift bags. Without details, we had a gift bag jam for our VIPs, and Amy just like, oh my God, let me do this. And crazy, she went out and first of all, she did them like, I could not have done them like that. I couldn't even imagine them like that. She went out and she just did all the stuff, and she drove from Newmarket, came to my office, got everything bagged up. That's back when we were all like, oh my God, we're not allowed to talk to each other because we're going to breathe COVID on each other. And I mean, she just gave and gave and gave. And then the rewards from that, I mean, she didn't do it to get a reward. But the riches that came from, from doing that. I mean, she's one of our team players, and she carries the message, and I carry her message.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love giving to people. I think that's important for whatever, if it's a charity, if it's a friend, if it's a family member, if I have it, I can give it. If I don't have it, I'll give it in another way. Right. And it doesn't always have to be financially giving. It can be time giving. It can be, just your ear for listening to people, that kind of stuff. What I'm interested in is, and I know we're not going to keep this going long because we just went through all of those 6 nuggets, but the matrix, building the 10-3-1, Brittany, is that something that you subscribe to as far as getting clients? Because whatever I read of your stuff, that doesn't seem to be aligned, but I do understand that the 10-3-1 is like, it is a ratio. The more you call people, the more you're going to get yeses for, right?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that there's truth and value in that. I subscribe to a different belief around marketing, which is attraction marketing. And, I use content marketing. So I show up, I share my message, I connect with people, like I have my strategies in play, but I don't, I used to do this, but I don't look at like, oh, I need to do X amount of discovery calls to convert X amount of people. However, what I do, and I just hosted a masterclass about redefining success. I do look at the number of like, how many posts did I share? How many people did I get signed up? How many of those will then convert? Maybe I do this like intuitively, but I don't like look at it that, but I do think that there is value. I think that entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs need to know how to look at their data, and data is sexy. Knowing your numbers is sexy. So when you know like what efforts you need to put in to then bring in those riches. So I don't know, maybe I do it, but unconsciously or in
Well,
my
I
own
think,
way.
yeah, it is the 10-3-1 concept in a new 2022 kind of way, right? Like you're just, and I wanted to mention that because I know that there's a lot of creative people that are like not going to get on the phone and not going to call those 10 people, but they may have like an art class or they may do a workshop of some kind. And so you have to consider the people that show up to that being like your 10 people or your 20 people. And how many people out of that are you going to work
Convert.
with,
Yeah.
want to work with, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So if you build that matrix, it could be, for example, I'm going to put a post out. Maybe it's a video or it's a post. Videos they're tracked. So I can see when I put out a video, I'll have 500 viewers and then I'll have X amount of people. So I know for me, because for ratios, what works for me, but everybody is different. So somebody could say, I get a great, my matrix is fabulous when it comes to doing videos. And Britt could say, well, mine is fabulous with my content posts because I know if I'm holding a class and I need, say, 25 people, I need to put out 6 posts to get 25 people in to then convert to the 3 that I actually want to work with. So I think we're all doing it in one way or another.
Yeah, I think
we
so.
need to be conscious of it because again, it's the clarity of building one person building their business is how do I do this and how do I become where I'm focused on the outcome. For example, I want, let's say, 3 new clients to work with over the next 3 months or 6 months, whatever your service is. How do I get those 3 people? Oh, well, I do this, and this, and then I'll come to the results. So that somebody isn't running around doing, oh, I'm doing all this work, but I don't know if anyone's going to show up, and then are they going to pay me? Or are they going to like what I want? And you got that whole thing going on in your mind. Yeah, you need to just shut it down and say, I know this is effective. So bang, 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 done. Don't even think about it. Just do it.
I would add, I think the way that I started to approach it is like everything I just said, but I also challenge the data and what I believe is possible. So if I look at my past classes, they were less money, but I was having 40 to 50 people show up. This recent one, I doubled the price. I made it 55 US. I had 24 people sign up, less people, but it was a new topic. So I challenge like what I believe is possible, and I kind of call in like, even though my data is telling me this, it's not always black and white because this isn't always concrete math. Like it doesn't always work that way. And so I think it's learning to be in flow and challenge what you think is possible for you so that you can expand, what you believe is possible.
Oh,
I love that.
I have a question. I love how you're saying systemically over time to build wealth. And I love how every time I open up my Facebook, Brittany is there or Whitney is there, and they are systematically also showing up. So you have to be showing up and keeping that consistent message. Like, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. When you open up your Facebook, I'm going to be there. So a lot of times it's kind of like people show up and go, whoa, and then they back away and then they're gone for like a long time. So it's important for the matrix to work, for you to be in people's vortex, so to speak, so that they know where to find you and they know what they're going to get when they do find you. And then the other thing, I think there was an article which I'll find and I'm going to put it in the comments, is an article where Whitney wrote about the percentages of costs and percentages of profit, and how to systematically, again, put money away from your business. And there's a percentage calculation that you did there, which I like. So I'm going to put in that, because I think that's important too. Like, when you get the money, you've got to go to taxes and you got to go to paying your bills. And then at the end, you know, maybe there's some left for me, maybe there's nothing left to put in the bank. So if you can follow the percentages that Whitney did in this article, then there will always be money for the buckets.
Absolutely. And so I have that at 40, 35, and 25. I've been doing this for decades, and so I still run on it today. So what that is, it doesn't matter what your revenue is, and your ratios may not be the same as mine, because you might be selling widgets or service. Like, it depends on what it is, right? But if you know you're selling, sorry,
what's the 40?
40% comes back to the owner. So for example, if we use my business, here's my revenue that comes in, and I run these on a monthly basis. So did you want to flip the gold off of there? So
yeah, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, because we're not showing all the speakers. There we go. So so here's the revenue, and let's just make it a simple number. I don't make 100,000 a year, but I'm going to use 100,000. So 100,000 comes in. So it's coming in over monthly. So I get 40% of that. So my pay is 40,000 a year. My overheads are 35,000 a year. And my retained earnings is 25,000. Okay. And this is a fabulous discipline to work on, because the retained earnings, this is how businesses are run. This is where your dividends come from, is that do we reinvest that 25% back into the business, you know, buy more product, or again, it depends on what your business is. So if we have people watching this and they talk in the chatter, doesn't matter when, I will answer in the chatter to help people to understand how this works. So Amy, what you were explaining is like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to take for pay. So if you don't know what you want, again, if we're going to use this universal law, the universe doesn't know what to send to you, because like, if you say, hey, my rent is 1,800 a month, right? Well, you're going to get the 1,800 a month because you got to pay the rent, right? Well, yeah, but I want another 1,800 a month to save, right? So that's where it starts. If you don't call it out, it's not going to come. So if you build that ratios model of how you want to do things, when money starts flowing in, you already have, okay, you know, 40 goes there, 35 goes to overhead, 35 overhead, that's your rent, those are your taxes, that's what you pay your staff. Your car, you know, if you're using your business for your car, whatever it is, so you stick to that. So then, you know, as business grows, you can say, hey, you know what, gosh, I've got more revenue coming in, and I think if I got another this, then I could probably make this. So it has to be clear and concise, and you always want to be taking retained earnings. We are in business to not only serve others, we are in the business to make money. And we also have to be a steward of that money, because we steward the money while we're on the earth, right? So you need to put some of that money aside. And when you get that money put aside, there's other things that you'll do with it. You might give some to philanthropy. You'll have a heck of a lot more confidence, because you know you've got some money behind you and you're not just working from hand to mouth. I remember my mom teaching me that when I was growing up. She's like, oh, they live hand to mouth. And I bet you there's a lot of people living hand to mouth. So if you make that your goal to say, hey, I don't want to live like this anymore, I really don't want to live like this anymore, you can change, because just by calling that out, it's like, okay, it's like, I'm down on my hands and knees. I don't want to live like this anymore. I am ready to receive, and I'm ready to build something new. Ideas are born by the second, right? I mean, Amy, you didn't have this idea 10 years ago to do this magazine. your resort? When did that idea pop into your head? We always come up with ideas. So if you don't have an idea today, somebody wants to start a business, they're like, ugh, I don't have an idea today. But in the back of their mind, they're always like, oh, if I just had this one little contraption, it would make my life a lot easier. Well, maybe 3 million people feel the same way as you, but nobody built that contraption. Now it's so easy on the internet, man, you make it and then you can sell it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I hope that this 6 little gold nuggets of Whitney's wisdom is helpful for everyone. And all 3 of us are in the chat. So if you have any questions, we can get back to you about it. And thanks for inviting me into this conversation and participating in the magazine and just offering up what you know for everyone.
Well, and thank you, Amy, for always being there. You've helped so many people. I was going to ask you too, if you could put the link in the comments too, so people can order a copy of your magazine. Again, like they're
also going to want to order a back issue because our friend Brittany was in the pink. Yeah, the pink one
and the red.
Oh, and the red. Yes. Okay, so you got to
favorite.
Yeah, you
have
have to
all of them.
Fill out the rainbow when you get this. When you subscribe to one, you have to fill out the rainbow. You can't just have one. So on the website, I'll put the link in.
See a minute.
Access to all of them. Yay!
Yeah.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Lane.
Okay, so thank you. We'll do this again. And thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Amy, so much.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.